at this moment where he's like doing the wrestling thing and he's like, oh, got him in the headlock and everything, I realized, Kyle, do you know who the Costco guys are?
I guess not.
We're Costco guys. Of course we had to try the new double chunk chocolate cookie.
We're Costco guys. What the heck is this thing?
So there are these popular TikTok
okay.
family,
I know
the Costco guys.
Boom or doom?
A chicken bake?
Or a double chunk chocolate cookie?
I'm gonna have to give the chicken bake the boom and the double chunk chocolate a doom. You heard it from the wrestler.
I guarantee you, Ken Del Vecchio is furious that he is not that his family didn't become the Costco guy family.
Yeah.
Ho ho, welcome back to fucking shut up, Kyle. Welcome back to the 208th episode of Good Bad or Bad Bad, the show where we watch terrible movies and tell you should too. I'm your host, Mr. Ryan Chiligo, joining you once again, as always, with my co-host, Mr. Kyle Hinton. Kyle.
My beard's not nearly white enough yet to...
Yeah, you need to...
I need to get old.
Or you can get some of that white scrub it. I had some white beard dye for when I was Geralt from The Witcher for Halloween a couple of years ago. It wasn't dye, it was like that temporary stuff you brush in. But anyways, Kyle, it is our main Christmas episode. A film today. We're
going back to the well. We're going back to the well.
We're going back to a filmmaker we've done twice before.
Yes. Vastly different films here. This is more the first one.
Yes. So the film we're talking about today is A Wrestling Christmas Miracle.
If there is a name synonymous with youth wrestling in the state of New Jersey, it's Case Gabriel.
And if obviously that name should ring a bell.
It's almost like, what was the first one? A
Karate Christmas Miracle. So this is a Ken Del Vecchio production.
Yes, our wild and crazy New Jersey, right?
I think he's from New Jersey.
Politician turned filmaker.
I thought it was lawyer slash politician.
Lawyer, politician, filmmaker.
Slash
the dude
filmmaker.
wears several hats, which he probably
all
needs
insane
to
hats.
Cover all.
Yes. Oh my God! So the first movie we did of his was A Karate Christmas Miracle, which was a terrible Christmas movie.
I like how you're saying miracle.
Miracle.
That's that Midwesterner coming.
Is that miracle? Say it, Kyle.
Miracle.
Yeah, you can say it that way. You can also say miracle.
Okay.
You can.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, Brian.
The rest of this episode is going to be an argument about how you pronounce the word miracle.
Next thing you're going to tell me that you carry your items in a bag, not a bag.
Bag. No,
okay,
it's a
at least
bag.
you say that one right.
Is that the only word? Is miracle the only word I have an accent on? Because I think I don't have much of an accent on like anything, but maybe miracle. Yeah, I don't say miracle. I understand how you could, but I think I've always said miracle, like M-A, like you pronounce it. Whatever. Anyways, a Christmas. So the first movie we did was A Karate Christmas Miracle. We're off the rails, all right, Kyle. Which was an insane movie about a kid whose dad disappears, and then he tries to get him back by doing karate or something. I don't remember.
And the craziness was, it was all about like, he had to get his black belt in like.
Yes, that's right. If he got his black belt before Christmas, his dad would come home.
Jesse, a black belt by Christmas? And he thinks if he gets a black belt, it'll bring his dad back?
I just saw that. I'm telling you, he's alive. I need to get that black belt.
Well, we get a very similar thing here. He's got to make a crazy, funny movie and show it to his friend on Christmas Day or Eve or something like that.
Yes.
And his friend, who's been in a coma, will wake up.
Yeah.
But guys, this isn't about me. It's about Charlie. In 5 days, it's Christmas, and when he hears this movie, he's gonna wake up from his coma laughing.
And also, you'll notice that it has nothing to do with wrestling.
Nope.
That has nothing to do with wrestling. Well, he needs to make a movie.
The setup stuff is hilarious.
We'll get into it just in a second. So, That was a Karate Christmas Miracle was the first one we did. Terrible, ridiculous. Then we did Polybus, whatever the heck that.
Yes.
Kinky Killers.
Kinky Killers.
Which was originally called like Polybus or something like that, which was like a horror movie thriller, like Seven style kind of thing.
Like
about like a serial killer.
Killing people who have sinned or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever.
Stop the power abuse!
Polycarp? I never even heard that word. What's it mean?
But one of the premises that was one of the things that was really crazy about a Karate Christmas Miracle that we found out was that it had a whole different movie in it. There was like a whole separate movie that was Eric Roberts, and it was like a
Martin Cove.
Yes, and there was a it was like about like the Aurora Theater shooting or something insane like that. And then we get to the scene we were talking about where we cut back to the movie theater.
Yes.
Martin Cove from Cobra Kai, the original
No Mercy.
Yeah, he is on the screen in a different movie talking to a woman who's in the theater who I mentioned earlier. Spoilers, Kyle. That must just be Ken Del Vecchio's thing because this movie also has another movie in it.
I don't know what the premise to the other films are.
Well, I don't know what the premise of the other films are, but this other movie in this movie is a real movie.
Day one of your sentence is officially over.
What do you think?
What were all the beeps for?
You guys stupidly used curse words.
It's the same thing. He did it again. He made a failed movie, and then he put the failed movie in a second movie to try to make more money off the failed movie. That's what happened. We'll get into it. We'll fucking get it. It's insane. Anyways.
Isn't there foul language in movies?
Not in movies for 11-year-old kids.
Like Charlie, my best friend, the kid we made the movie for.
The film, that's what he did. That's what he's done twice now, at least.
Are we just making movies wrong?
I know he's making movies wrong. Fuck you. What are you talking about? This asshole's making movies wrong. The film opens. It's not even a movie. It's like 60 minutes long. We'll get to it. But the film opens over home video of his kid wrestling.
Which I think these are legit because I have to blur everything out.
No, it's absolutely real footage of his son wrestling because his son just is a wrestler. It's like what he does. When I say wrestler, like a
high school,
collegiate, high school, that kind of like Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah,
like actual wrestling, not
they're not like taking
wrestling.
A steel chair to somebody.
Whereas his dad is a theatrical wrestler, I believe. So his dad in this movie, played by Ken Del Vecchio, is named
Ajax Gabriel.
The son of Olympian Ajax Gabriel, Case has been on a torrid track to outdo his champion father.
What a name.
And he is a legit like a WWE style wrestler, and he is we'll get there in just a bit in a second.
It's genetics. The kid is a machine built to win.
But during this opening, we get this monologue of this lady talking about how great of a wrestler Race Gabriel is, which Race is the name of the son.
Case.
Race Gabriel. No, yeah, you're right. Case Gabriel, I think. Yeah. Either way, stupid name. I hope that's not the kid's actual
It's like
name.
an actual news article of this legendary
wrestler,
prodigy of wrestling.
His dad Ajax is an Olympian wrestler, and Case is on the path to outdo his father.
Refusing to begin wrestling until age 10, the young Gabriel has won 50 consecutive matches in the last year and a half. And he has accomplished this undefeated record without a single practice before his first match.
He's a football player, and then we cut the football
of him
highlights.
Just wrecking in Pee Wee football.
Also a standout football player, Case has terrorized opposing quarterbacks, breaking the league sack record and crushing anyone in the opponent's backfield.
Yeah, he's just, it's like, I'm like, what is happening? This is insane. We're just watching highlights from his home videos of his son playing football and wrestling.
He's got to get that budget down as much as possible.
Yeah, well, and then live during the opening credits, we get the credits for who's in the movie, and first one that popped up that I was like, oh no, was Gilbert Gottfried.
Yes.
I was like, Gilbert, what are you doing?
we get like his son, we get Ken DeVecchio up there,
people,
we get Martin Kove again. It's like, okay,
Martin Kove because he was in the other.
And then we start getting into like Jimmy Walker, Michael Winslow, Todd Bridges, and we're like, what? Did you just get a Rolodex of 80s sitcom and movies people to bring in?
So I think that is kind of what that other movie is, and we'll get to it. But all of those people aren't in this movie. They're in the fake movie that's in this movie, which is a real movie that he made previously.
That's insane.
Does that make sense? No, it doesn't fucking make sense. It's insane. Anyways, so again, we can still get this intro forever of him like them hyping up his son being the greatest wrestler / football player to ever step foot on this earth. Also, in the middle of these highlights of him that are home videos, we get a shot of him like force pushing a bunch of kids. Did you see that?
Oh yeah.
What is that doing in the middle of the?
He's got like that much like key energy. It's like some Dragon Ball Z shit.
But it's wrestling first for this young man. That fast and mean hard hitting is even more powerful on the mat.
But why is that in this newsreel that is also
good question, Brian. Good question.
It makes no sense. And this whole thing is also just an ad for this kid's like wrestling football career. Yes. And it's just his dad wanted to be like, look how awesome my son is.
It's
That's
like
all this
what is the website that all the scouts use? Huddle or something like that?
Oh yeah, maybe yeah.
Yeah, it's like a video for that.
Exactly. Yeah, and then they added a fucking narrative to it for some reason, like a 50-minute narrative in the middle. If anything, this is gonna hurt the kid's chances of getting drafted or
go from going into a good school to a 3-star recruit.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know, you seem pretty good at football, but your dad seems insane. So I don't know. We don't want to deal with that, really.
The arm drag, the front headlock, a legal body slam, a head smash, and a half Nelson.
Oh my God.
We also get wild shots of Ken DeVecchio putting somebody into a headlock.
Yes, yeah, because we mentioned that he's a wrestler too, so we get to see him doing some wrestling. And then, as you said, we get this mention. He mentions immediately, like as we get into the actual movie, that his friend has been Charlie, has been in a coma for 3 months.
Okay,
and if he makes a movie that will make him laugh, he'll come out of the coma.
Okay.
My friend has been in a coma for 3 months, and if I make a movie that will make him laugh, he'll come out of his coma.
You're going to make a movie at only 11 years old in hopes that your friend will come out of his coma?
Yes.
I mean, this isn't nearly as insane as your dad who just went missing for a year after a mass shooting.
Yeah.
Coming back?
Yes, this is true. And he says that, and then we cut to this scene, and we're in an office, and it is Martin Kove behind a desk talking to some woman, and then Ken DeVecchio's in a wheelchair, and there's another lady with them.
Did you see the photos that were on Martin Kove's desk?
No.
It was one with him and Barack Obama with badly photoshopped, and the one behind him was him and Jesus Christ.
It's definitely this one, as you mentioned, before we started recording, you mentioned that this one feels more like Ken DeVecchio is like just taking the piss and
exactly
doing whatever. And I agree with that. But also, I don't understand in what direction. It's
so crazy.
It's just insanely unhinged. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, and I'm like, okay, so what is going on in this scene? There's this woman talking to Martin Kove, and then Ken DeVecchio is like making faces and doing like weird,
because his character in the film in the other film can't speak.
Well, and we don't know it's the other film yet, to be fair.
Oh yeah, okay.
In this moment we're like we don't know what's going on. Right.
He's just flailing and making
and then the lady is talking for him because it's like sign language or whatever is what they say. And then we find out Martin Kove is blind.
Yes.
It appears I've made 2 mistakes.
The governor made the mistake in appointing a blind moron, the warden of this unnecessary facility.
And then the lady that's in front of him, she says she's a doctor, but she's not actually a doctor. Instead, she's a patient at his mental hospital.
Yes, she's a psychiatrist who's also in a mental hospital. It's so weird.
And I'm a psychiatrist, and I can help you with that narcissism, Agent Truman.
You can't help anything because you are now a prisoner.
Dr. Caroline Stone, you are an inmate in my hospital.
I have no idea. And then as she walks, and again, there's like the two, Kim Delvecchio and the other lady are like cops or FBI agents or something. Then then she leaves. He's like, oh, and you're not a doctor, you're my patient. And then she walks out, and Gilbert Gottfried like walks her to her room or something.
Welcome to your first day in the institute.
I mean, you nailed it. Yes.
Welcome to St. Clair's Correctional Institute. Day 1 of your sentence is officially over.
Dude. But it's unhinged. I was like, what is? I was so confused. But then that scene plays out, and then we pull back through the TV.
We're watching the film. We're in the Delvecchio home watching the film.
What do you think?
What were all the beeps for?
You guys stupidly used curse words.
And it is the movie that the kid earlier said, I need to make a movie for my friend to make him come out of his coma. The movie we were just watching is that movie. But also, Kyle, it's also a movie that Ken Delvecchio actually made years before this called like Hospital something. I looked it up.
Oh God.
It's literally it's called like Hospital. I wrote it down somewhere. Where did I write the note?
Oh no.
Hospital Arrest. There's a film called Hospital Arrest that Ken Delvecchio wrote and produced. And all of those scenes from that are from that movie.
You can't do this. You have to leave.
Welcome to St. Clair's Correctional Institute.
Freaking wild.
So he takes that movie that flopped or failed or whatever and puts it in this movie as a movie his son wrote and directed.
I will say this. If he can identify why, like, it seems like he's able to identify why that was a wacky failure because he puts it in here as the premise of being from a 11-year-old's mind.
Yes. Which is, I guess there's some level of self-awareness of like this movie. To be fair, he didn't direct it, but he wrote and produced it.
Yeah.
There's some level of self-awareness to be like, oh, this movie I made a couple years ago is so ass that it looks like it was made by a 12-year-old. Like, I mean, I guess kudos on acknowledging that you're as good at directing or writing and producing movies as a 12-year-old, but it's insane. So that's the premise here. Is that's that other movie. Then they have insane interactions. His dad like grabs him and like puts him in a headlock.
You know what Abraham Lincoln said, don't you? Only a fool has himself for an attorney.
And he goes, and what do we say? A wrestler only has himself on the mat. The fool is the guy he's pinning.
Well, what is it that the Gabriels say? A wrestler only has himself on the mat. The fool is the guy he's pinning.
And then the dad explains that he's leaving to go to the
Congo to wrestle an elephant.
We are not going to the Congo with you to wrestle.
So be it. Case, I am going to wrestle an elephant for you. Check it out.
Ken Delvecchio thinks it's the funniest shit in the world, but that's what's happening. And at this moment where he's like doing the wrestling thing and he's like, oh, got him in the headlock and everything, I realized, Kyle, do you know who the Costco guys are?
I guess not.
We're Costco guys. Of course we had to try the new double chunk chocolate cookie.
We're Costco guys. What the heck is this thing?
I think of Costco and I think of Idiocracy. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Costco. I love you.
I mean, kind of. So there are these popular TikTok
okay.
family.
I know.
The Costco guys.
Boom or doom?
A chicken bake?
Or a double chunk chocolate cookie?
I'm gonna have to give the chicken bake, the boom, and the double chunk chocolate a doom. You heard it from the Rizzler.
I guarantee you, Ken Delvecchio is furious that he is not that his family didn't become the Costco guy family.
Yeah.
Because it's like the same thing.
It is.
They're these insane, he's like a wrestler who like exploits his kid to be like you know, as like part of this thing to try to get famous or whatever. And like they have the same kind of weird energy. They're also from New Jersey.
New Jersey, come on.
It's insane. I was like, he so desperately tried to be the Costco guys before the Costco guys. He just lacks any of the authenticity or charm or anything that they have. But oh my God, it's fantastic.
This gets a really big
boom! I just want you to know, somewhere around the same time, Franklin Korea is making a film somewhere.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Isn't it beautiful?
Then we jump forward a little bit, and the mom, I don't remember her name. The mom, she has the movie on a hard drive.
Yeah.
And she gives it to their Uncle Ron, who is her brother. And she's like, hey, put this somewhere safe so that we can take it somewhere. I don't remember. Whatever.
They need to make copies.
They need to make copies.
So he's got to, I think he has to take it over to his place to make copies.
So he puts it in a car, and in that car, there's also a bunch of Christmas presents that they're hiding from the kid.
Listen, I have hidden in Ronald's car a whole bunch of presents for Case.
Now let's all huddle it up.
Okay. Then we got to set that up. Okay. Then we cut, and we're introduced to these other two characters.
Yes. Woman.
I don't know their names.
This woman from the previous film.
Yes.
Who was,
I don't even know what her role is. And none of these people play the same characters.
No.
They're all different characters.
But these two are actors from the fake film.
Yes.
Who we never see in that fake film.
No, we see the
we see the woman.
The guy. No, we see the guy.
Who's the guy?
I think he's the guy with the sledgehammer who later on who's like smashing everything. I think that's him.
Different.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Anyways.
So it's these two people who were actors in the movie, and I love we open up on this with like him doing sit-ups, and we're doing like this camera like POV shot of him doing sit-ups, and I was like, oh look, the director tried to do something. He's like annoyed with his girlfriend, whose name is Kitty, or he calls her Kitty Cat. I don't know what her actual name is. But she's like insane. She's insane.
Hey, that's great. Wouldn't it be a kick if that kid's movie is a hit and we get all famous and everything because we get discovered from that kid's movie?
I don't know.
Yeah,
she's just
crazy.
Insane. Like her whole character.
They were like, hey, can you just act like Harley Quinn or something like that?
Yeah, you're just crazy. Like that's her whole thing.
Kitty Cat. Sometimes I think it's quite possible there may be traces of a brain in there.
That is so sweet. Thank you so much.
They were both in the movie, and then they have a plan. I guess they're mad they got cut out of the movie.
Kid wakes up on Christmas. You and I become incredibly rich and famous. And we were barely in that movie. The great Ajax Gabriel saw to that.
They say like, oh, he cut us out of the movie. So in order to get back at Ken Del Vecchio, they go to his house dressed as the Grinch and I think one of the Who's maybe.
Yeah.
And steal all the presents out of his car that he somehow knows are there.
Yeah, and one of the things also happens to be the hard drive.
And yes, and one of the things they steal is the hard drive. I don't know.
They're all gone.
Ronald, how could you leave the door unlocked? All of Case's presents are in there. He's going to be so disappointed.
The movie.
Wait, what?
They're going to sell the movie. They're going to not blackmail. They're going to hold the movie for ransom.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So basically they're doing two things with the film. They're holding it to ransom for the family to be like, yeah, you rich wrestling family, pay $1 million or you'll never see this again.
He says that if we call the police, we'll never see the film again. Okay, listen, we won't call the police, but just tell me, why are you doing this? How can you be so cruel?
Yes. They also go to producers and be like,
that's right.
Hey, we own the rights to this film and we think you should look at it.
You should buy this movie that we're going to sell or whatever.
It's magnificent. And you say an 11-year-old directed it?
Yes. But we're the producers, and we own it.
And at this point, every time, though, that couple was on screen, I'm like, man, it's really impressive that Ken Del Vecchio managed to find somebody more annoying than him to put in his own fucking movie. That's, like, truly impressive.
Why couldn't we call from home, Chuck? I just want to play.
So they can't trace the phone call, Mrs. Einstein.
Who's Mrs. Einstein?
Also, I love every time we cut to Ken Del Vecchio's family's house, they have the weirdest, saddest living room. Did you?
It's very wide open and empty.
And they have a giant, like 90-inch TV sitting on a tiny entertainment center.
Yeah.
And then behind it, against the wall, there's like nothing in the room except there's like some amplifiers.
I thought this was like a rental property.
Yeah, maybe there's like amplifiers, but on the amplifiers are insane photos of Ken Del Vecchio and his son like in wrestling poses.
Yeah.
But they're just on amplifiers sitting on the ground. There's also a drum throne sitting there. I don't understand what any of this is. I don't know. Their house is insane. We'll get to their bedroom later. There's a shot in their bedroom that made me lose my mind. We'll get to it in a minute. Then, I don't know if you realize this. Did you notice who Uncle Ron is? The actor who plays Uncle Ron? I was like...
Is this somebody I should know?
I mean, not really, but also yes. So I was like, this guy looks familiar to me for some reason. And I looked him up. I say he's a real actor. That's probably a little generous. But what he is he had a very well-known role in a beloved Christmas movie about 30 years ago.
Is this... Ralphie's little brother in A Christmas Story?
Close. Got the right movie.
Ooh, okay. Hang on.
Not Ralphie or his family.
Is this the kid who he throws under the bus and is like, oh, that bad word? I learned it from him.
That's Schwartz. That's the wrong one. It's the other one. It's the kid who sticks his tongue to the fucking pole.
Right?
It is Flick, yes.
Yes.
It is Flick. The
Nice.
actor who plays Flick is in this movie. The actor's name is Scott Schwartz. And yeah, he's the Uncle Ron in this movie.
Nice.
I was like, okay, sure.
The fact that we know so much about that.
Well, it's so funny to me. Well, I watched that movie a million times. It was my dad's favorite Christmas movie, and then it was on TNT or whatever 24 hours a day, so I've seen it like 1,000 times. But it's funny because that's the kind of guy had a bit part in a very famous Christmas movie 30 years ago that you can pay like $100 to come be in your movie. Like, I can't imagine it's that expensive to get Flick from A Christmas Story to come be in your movie. But anyways, I thought that was pretty funny. The other thing this movie does that it is convinced this movie is absolutely positive that shitty accents are like the apex of humor.
Keen Entertainment, how may I direct your call? Don't deposit the check until next Monday. Everything should be okay.
Listen closely. There is an office at 866 Prescott Street. It takes different strokes for different blokes.
You are amazing, Chuckles.
Like that there is nothing funnier in the world than a person doing a bad accent.
The guy holding the movie at ransom puts on like 1,000 different accents and they're all terrible.
Yeah. There's a couple okay jokes where the woman is on the other end of the line being like, he's British. I mean, wait.
It's some Russian guy. Wait. No, it's Irish?
To be fair, there's only one person who's actually particularly good at accents, but like in the right kind of way. And that is the producer they're trying to sell the film to. He's way better than the other guy.
Yeah.
You're really good with accents.
Gracias.
That is really good Mexican.
Yeah, Mark Keane, the producer, who I love. They meet him in a movie theater, which I assume that's intentionally funny because that's kind of a funny joke that this movie producer is just standing in like an empty movie theater, like that's his office or whatever, which I think is kind of a funny joke.
I'll have to have my partner see it.
Do you think his partners are gonna love it?
Oh, I would love to take a look at it. You have an eye for talent, Markeen.
Then we cut back to the fake movie, the kids movie, the real movie Hospital Arrest, but the fake movie in this movie's universe. And this is the scene I was talking about where the woman from that we saw earlier that thought she was a doctor who got checked in goes into this room and there's a guy in there with a sledgehammer like destroying shit. And I think I could have swore that actor was the boyfriend of Kitty, but maybe it's not. I don't know. They look similar-ish. But then he has her destroy a watermelon with a hammer for some reason.
It goes all Gallagher on it.
Yeah, it's just Gallagher. We go from silly accents to Gallagher, and I was like, yeah, this humor is top tier, let me tell you. Then we spend like 10 minutes watching some lady put her makeup on while we hear a news story. And the news story
is insane. This is the most.
What is this turn, Kyle?
I don't know. So
I need you to explain this.
apparently Ajax works with the FBI or the CIA to destabilize foreign nations, and in this particular case, to overthrow the democratic the
dictator of the Congo,
the military dictator of the Congo. And they do that by having a wrestling match.
The Congo government has just been overthrown, and an American Olympic wrestler apparently is at the center of it.
And the steroided up Norwegian dictator of the Congo gets pinned.
Gets his ass kicked by Ken Del Vecchio. Who is, let me remind you, a CIA agent in this movie's universe. It's absurd and ridiculous.
It's all, I mean, clearly it's all
obviously hilarious. Intended to be absurd, but it's...
After pinning several jungle beasts and a few of the Congo's best wrestlers, the country's dictator Bob Smith challenged Gabriel to a wrestling match. Smith, most don't realize, illegally immigrated to the Congo in 1995 from Norway.
It does kind of hit that point where you can tell it's trying to be funny, but it's so bad and not funny that it almost loops back around to being funny again in a weird way.
It's made to be funny, but it misses the mark so hard that you're like, oh my God, how did you miss that?
Yeah, it's like, it kind of does loop around back to being funny.
Known to be on steroids, Smith has also been the Congo's bodybuilding champion since he forcibly took control of the nation in 2010.
So anyway, so then that lady goes to, she's going somewhere. We don't see where yet. Then we cut, and what is this scene, Kyle? We cut to a restaurant, and there's the news story we're hearing on the radio that the lady was listening to
is on a serving tray.
On a serving tray. And they carry it from the kitchen out and put it on the table.
This is that weird, like I think they would just wanted something to connect in universe.
Yes.
Gabriel doesn't seem phased. Well, he did just pin 3 Congo national champs, and it was rather spectacular what he did to that giraffe. Here comes Smith, onto the mat. I don't know what to expect. He's a brutal man.
And this is definitely one of those things where the director was like, I have an idea.
I will say this thing in particular gave me some... I don't want to say like Tim Burton kind of effect.
Well, we do like a wide angle and like she comes down to the camera. And
it gives me that like early Tim Burton kind of feel.
A little bit. It's the only thing in the movie that's interesting, but it also doesn't make any sense, so it's not interesting. Like the why? Because here's the thing: the shot itself is not terrible. Like we get the cameras on the serving tray with the speakers sitting there carrying through the restaurant, and then they set it down, and she like leans down and is looking at the pie on the desk, and it's kind of interesting. But why is the radio on the tray? Why are they listening to this in the restaurant? Why are they serving it to people? None of it makes. It's just. You can't come up with an interesting shot idea and then come up with the most convoluted reason ever to do it. It makes no fucking sense. It's so stupid. It drove me crazy.
You're like one step away from like a nosebleed right now.
I'm getting there. I had to make up for last week, Kyle, the last episode where we just watched a charming little Christmas movie where Mario Lopez falls in love with Melissa Joan Hart, America's sweetheart.
Now you need to watch a movie that's giving you brain hemorrhages.
Yeah, it's getting there. I do have a little bit of a headache.
President Smith has been pinned in 3 seconds. It's bedlam here. Military personnel are rushing the mat. The American may have some trouble. Gabriel is tossing Smith to the Congo soldiers.
I think the idea is that somebody has a line about Ajax, Agent Truman. Is that who you really are? And the idea is that the character that they wrote for Ken Del Vecchio in the fake movie in this movie is true to his real life self in that he is also like a secret agent.
American Olympian Ajax Gabriel has assisted, maybe brainstormed the overthrow of a foreign dictator.
Ajax? Agent Truman? Is that who you really are?
I mean, it would almost make sense in the right what you know kind of joke or
right, like because he wrote his own like life into the I guess it's whatever.
Cassandra, do you got that kind of cash, or do we gotta go to the bank?
No, not without Ajax.
Then the lady's going over, that other lady we saw earlier, I don't even know who that is, goes over to visit the mom and Case, who are at their house. I have to talk about this real quick. She talks to them briefly, but then they go up to their bedroom for something to like find, I don't know. She goes up to the bedroom, and the bedroom we see in this house is like this weird, super minimalist, like luxury bedroom that's all white. Everything is white. There's like an armoire that's white.
Rental house.
But it looks insane. The bed and like the built-in like shelving's all white. Everything's white, except in this stark white bedroom that's like super minimal and like weird and fancy. There's like one old ass grandpa ass wood clock on the wall that does not remotely fit the aesthetic of anything else in the bedroom, Kyle.
Let Brian talk to you about interior design.
I'm just saying, why would you have a room? Because the room is so specifically, and I hate it. It's hideous. It's not my, like, it's hideous. But if you're gonna do that, why would you then put this weird old raggedy clock on the wall? It doesn't you get like a sleek, ugly ass gold clock or something. You know what I mean? Like a minimalist, like future-y gold clock that has like no numbers on it. You put that on the wall. This clock would be at home in, again, your grandpa's workshop. That is the clock. It doesn't matter. It's just
Jesus, Brian.
This movie was made by an insane person, Kyle, and it's making me insane. All right. I can't handle it.
Mom, I want you to know that you're Superman too.
Superman?
Superwoman, just as strong.
Well, maybe not quite as strong.
So anyways, they realize that they know who has the movie because it's the guy, the kid, I think, realizes.
The kid's like, yeah, that guy's accent is really shit. That reminds me of the guy in the film who kept trying to do really bad accents.
I know you want the police involved, but these Germans.
I think his last accent was Haitian or something.
I think Wiener is German.
Well, what about Kitty Cat?
Korean Swiss mix?
Really, I just think they're broke actors. Although they were pretty good in the film.
So they realize that the person who has their movie is the actor and his girlfriend. And so they even know where they live. She's like, I know where you live, motherfuckers. And I'm like, well, then why would you give them the money? And that's what Ron says. Ron is like, hey, Uncle Ron is like, hey, we should just call the police. And she's like, no, we can't do that because or no, maybe she says, that's right. I think she says we should call the police, and Ron says no because they'll just wipe the movie. Like they'll delete the movie.
I mean, they have the hard drive. They can wipe it clean anytime they want. This Wiener guy says this is the last thing. This is the last choice. We have no chance. We've got to do it.
If like they get worried that we're coming, the police are gonna, so we have to give them the money or whatever, which is, I guess, an inkling of what's actually going on.
Also,
here.
be like, why don't they just copy the drive? Like, why don't the bad guys just copy the drive? Because all they need is the movie to sell to the producer.
They could do that. But the idea, yes. But anyway, so the reason they don't call the cops is because Ron convinces them not to, because he's like, they'll destroy the movie if we go to the cops. So let's not do that.
Yeah.
Just pay him, take care of it, get back the movie, and that's that.
Really? You don't think the police should know what's happening?
Sure, we can tell the police. And Charlie doesn't wake up.
Then Ajax calls. And we get like this 5-minute scene where the wife explains the entire plot of the movie out loud on the phone to Ajax, so that we as an audience...
All you hear is guerrilla warfare and an elephant in the background.
They took the movie and they want $1 million to give it back. Ajax, I took the money from your protein shake commercials and your sports gambling. Ajax!
He never even says it like hello or anything. It's just like gunfire and elephant noises and stuff in the background.
Are you okay? Ajax!
But she just says out loud, this is the plot of the movie, in case you were confused, because I know you were, because none of this makes any fucking sense.
That's always signs of a good movie.
Yeah.
It just comes down to tonight, Christmas Eve, and they want to meet us at our very special place.
This movie is only like 65 minutes long, and then there's it's an hour and 17 minutes.
20 minutes of credits or 18 minutes of credits?
Yes, then there's like 18 minutes of credits at the end of the fucking movie, which we'll get to why, because it's amazing. I mean, obviously with padding time, but there's a reason why the credits are as long as they are. We'll get to it. Then we get they go to drop off the money, and they're going to meet at the like karate studio, I think, that we saw in the first one. It's that one wrestling. It's like a wrestling gym or whatever. We saw it in the Karate Christmas Miracle. But they're standing in this room, and there's like lights, and they're like facing off with each other, and it's Uncle Ron, the wife, and then the two actor people. And the actor people have the hard drive with the movie in a cardboard box or whatever. And the wife has like a bag full of $1 million, supposedly. And they get this big standoff, and they're going to like toss, they're going to, on the count of bear, Kyle, when he spells it, because again, the movie is just like, we got to come up with jokes. Somebody come up with something funny to say.
Squeeze time.
Somebody come up with something funny to say. Instead of counting to 3, I'll say, when I spell out the word bear.
When I spell the word bear, you throw the $1 million money bag.
Well, why can't you just count to 5?
Or say A, B, C, D, E.
Yeah, that would be easier.
And then we'll do a whole, like, who's on first bit.
Which bear?
Yeah, where he's like, no, wait, that's not how you spell bear. Bear spelled B-A-R-E. And I was like, well, that's the... And I
B-E-A-R. Wait a minute. That's not how you spell bear. Bear is B-A-R-E.
I'm gonna. They throw the money, they swap them or whatever, but then she finds out that the hard drive isn't in the box. It's like a sandwich.
Yeah, it's like a tuna sandwich.
That looks like $1 million to me, baby.
What is this?
It looks like a sandwich.
Yes, but then just in time, Ajax shows up and tackles the guy.
He's gonna put him into his splay ladle.
Yes, he tackles the guy and puts him in like a headlock. And as he does that, fucking Ronnie and the wife pull out guns. They have like Desert Eagles shoved in their waist or whatever. And they pull out these guns and they're pointing them at him. But then Ron,
double cross,
turns his gun on the wife.
Will you shut up?
Ronald, what are you doing?
Just put the gun down, sis, and everything will be fine.
Who's the barbell now, huh?
And it's like, haha, I got you. And it turns out this whole time he was working with them to exploit the money out of the family, I guess?
Okay.
I don't fucking, who cares? It's stupid, and I don't care. But, surprise,
the kid shows up
and tackles Ronnie and gets the gun away.
That's 333,000 and change for each of you, dumbhead.
You! Over there!
The end.
Cool.
Not the end, but the other thing that happens that is my favorite moment here at the end is that as after the kid tackles Ronnie and they're standing there, he's like, yeah, because they're like, they're worried that the tennis balls are a bomb. The guy was holding tennis balls the whole time.
I was a pyrotechnic person, and I learned how to turn tennis balls into bombs.
Yeah.
This is no ordinary can of tennis balls.
No, it ain't, Missy.
These are explosives wrapped in tennis balls.
And so he claims that he's holding a bomb or whatever. But the kid, after he shows up, he's like, that's not a real bomb. He's a liar. And he makes fun of the villain for not being he wasn't like a pyrotechnic person or whatever. He was just a lawyer before he was an actor.
This goofball was no Marine or even a special effects artist. He was a lawyer before he was an actor.
And he's like, he was a lawyer and now he's an actor. I was like, wait, is the kid in this story making fun of the villain for having Ken Del Vecchio's backstory?
Oh, that's great.
Maybe there's some self-awareness there. I don't know, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, and that's why I'm gonna argue my way out of this, you little bully. I was a great lawyer.
And he was a good attorney.
Kitty.
And he was a judge.
Kitty cat.
And he's a really good mouthpiece.
Enough!
They get to the end, and they got the movie back and everything, and the kid is going to go show the movie to Charlie.
Yeah.
Try to save the day. And I thought it would be the funniest thing in the world if he showed him the movie and it just killed him. He just flatlined. He like shows
it's like in a South Park where they're like, we need to win this hockey game, so we save this kid with cancer. Well, we tied. What does that mean? Well, his cancer just kind of tied. It's just kind of tied right now.
Well, he isn't worse, but he isn't getting better. It's almost as if his cancer were tied.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But the movie doesn't do it.
He just needs a little more time. But he heard it, and I bet he was laughing.
So what will do it, Kyle, is if he does whatever that dumbass wrestling move you said earlier.
Wanna know my family's secret wrestling move? It's called the Gabriel Spladle with a soup ladle.
He does a wrestling move on his friend in a coma, and it wakes him up.
It's like chiropractics, you know, just like, whoa.
You lock his head.
Presence, the movie, gone.
No, Case, that's a bomb. Now this will either put the guy to sleep or wake him up. Case, could you get off? Charlie, you woke up.
Snapped him to life.
It's so fucking stupid. His friend comes back to life and he goes, "It's a true Christmas miracle!" And then the screen goes, "Woo!" Looney Tunes closes and it says, "A wrestling Christmas miracle."
It's a true Christmas miracle.
Boom.
And we're 60 minutes in. There's 17 minutes left in the movie, Kyle.
But wait, there's more.
I was like, what? And then so we get like minutes and minutes and minutes of more home wrestling footage.
Interlaced
with some credits.
Some credits.
Yeah. But then, Kyle, I was like, so we see the credits roll. We see the credits roll, and it rolls the credits for the movie. And I was like, when we get to the actual crew, I was like, how are there so many people working on a movie that looks this and is this terrible? They have like gaffers and best boys and script supervisors. And I'm like, I've made movies with 3 people, not feature-length movies, but movies with significantly fewer people that are like way better. And I don't understand how you have that many crew people. I guess everybody's just bad at their, I don't know, fucking whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, or it's tax fraud. Maybe this is all just tax fraud or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, probably. And then the credits end, and then
it's about ready to say we are in New Jersey.
Yeah, and Annie's a lawyer, so like, or used to be, so like, maybe he knows some loopholes. The credits end, and then we get a little credit that comes up and says, "Credits for Race's movie." Kyle, they put the credits for the movie in the movie in this movie. So we get a second set of credits that are the credits from the hospital arrest movie.
That's genius.
That run in the credits.
Oh, God, that's genius.
It's the stupidest fucking...
Brian, we made a movie that's nothing but credits.
It's insane. I couldn't believe it when the credits for the other movie in this movie start.
I guarantee you the time they had to meet, because this movie is an hour and 50 minutes, was 75-minute runtime.
Yes.
They had to meet that.
Yeah.
And Vecchio was like, just
I don't know.
Throw in the other credits.
The other credits for the other movie in this. It's so
God.
Stupid. It's so stupid. But then that's the ending. And I love it. We get big like special thanks at the end, and the final thank you is our creator. I was like, I'm glad they thanked God at the end of this nightmare movie. I was like, good job, well done. But that's Wrestling Christmas Miracle. Kyle, this movie's fucking bad. This movie is atrocious, and Ken Del Vecchio should be ashamed of everything he's probably ever done in his life, if I had to guess. I don't know, but holy shit, it's atrocious. He should have to fight the Costco guy dad in a fight to the death in a wrestling ring.
No, not in a wrestling ring. In a wrestling ring made at Costco.
A Costco wrestling ring. And then, absolutely.
Where you can get your affordable bungee cords.
Because I put all the money in the world on whatever the fuck the Costco dad's name is, breaking Ken Del Vecchio in half. Which would be a positive for everybody, I think. So... That's it for this episode. As always, you can do us a giant favor by going over to patreon.com/GBorBB. Support us there. Get access to bonus content. And you just support us, which is always very nice.
Yeah. Brian needs some good health care after this. Some good mental health care. So anything to go towards Brian's recovery.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get some sort of brain imaging done to make sure everything's still up and running upstairs. Because I'm feeling the wires got crossed in ways that aren't healthy. But anyways, yes, that is patreon.com/GBorBB. You can also support us by buying merch. Kyle's wearing some of that delicious merch right now. tpublic.com. Again, all the links for all of this stuff are in the description. I have a podcast called This Film Was It, where we talk about movies that are based on books. When this episode's out, our most recent episode been whatever our actual Christmas episode is, which I'm not sure off the top of my head. It's not the Christmas shoes. That's our first Christmas episode. Our second Christmas episode is a different Christmas episode, and I'm stalling to try to pull up the schedule doc on my phone, and I'm keeping talking so that there's not
talking.
I could just be quiet, and then I'd put an edit in. I guess would be the easiest way to do this.
Hey Brian, let's talk more about Vecchio's movies.
Don't you dare.
Let's talk more about how Michael Winslow and Todd Bridges were in the film for one scene, and then I technically Jimmy Walker was in there for two.
Oh no, it is the Christmas shoes. That's just our Christmas episode this year. Okay, so yeah, it will have been the Christmas shoes. So there you go. Oh, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
His brain is gone. It is rotted out. There is literally a black hole.
I have a searing pain right here. Is that normal? Is that natural? Is that fine? Is that okay?
Normally that would be a lobotomy, but you don't have any entry points, so it just kind of...
It's just like a dull ache, like right behind my eyeball right here. I'm sure that's fine. But no, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. Hope you had a good and safe holidays and good finishing out of the year of our Lord 2024. We'll see you in 2025.
In a new, whole crazy, wacky year. Probably go back to a Year of the Fan because we're running out of options.
I mean, we do a lot of fan wrecking. I mean, almost every year is a Year of the Fan.
It is.
Since it like half
Brian,
the
I need to make it sound special. Shut up.
You're right. It's special. The Year of the Fan.
Just don't watch.
Oh, as always, keep watching movies, especially
maybe not this one.
No. Instead,
if you want, I would say Karate Christmas Miracle is just more in. It's
much better.
It's better than this.
Well, it's
but
more
it's
entertaining.
Like also insane. It's like the better version of this insanity.
Yes. This is the poor man's version of a Karate Christmas Miracle, which is deeply sad to say. It's a sad thing to say because that movie is garbage. But I think we probably gave that one bad. Maybe not. I'm gonna give that one good bad. Either way,
this movie
sucks. Sucks bad. Sucks worse than anything. I'm Team Costco guys versus Ken Del Vecchio. Go Costco guys.